Yo, 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 Salaam nerds! It's your boy Neves, aka Watch with Neves, and I'm here with my co-host Jazz, aka DJ Jazz Esquire.
DJ Jazz Esquire. It's because I look like a
Yes,
lawyer today with my
because
background.
you look like a lawyer today. Somebody pointed that out. We're not gonna say who, but someone says you look like you're working in a law office.
I should have worn like a suit and like a tie and everything. And you know what, Pardeep, I'll be your lawyer today, okay?
Yes, yes. So every time Pradeep doesn't answer a question, Jazz is gonna be like, "Objection!"
Objection.
Oh man!
I got
And
you,
next,
man. No worries.
Next, we got April, who has been on 3 episodes so far this season. Welcome back, April. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing really good. Practicum is keeping me busy, but it's also keeping me happy.
Awesome, awesome. And then we got the man of the hour, Pradeep. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. I can't complain.
That's good, man. That's good. I am super excited to talk to you, man. You are one of the first South Asians, Guyanese, West Indies or Guyanese. Where are you from exactly? Tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Well, I'm from New York, born and raised New York City, but my family's West Indian. My mother is from Trinidad and Guyana. My father's Punjabi, though. If you can tell by my actual name.
I know. I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You're a little bit of all over the place, but that's really, really cool. I really loved your intro on the season because it went into something that I feel like they never talked about before, but like it talked about how they had people from India and they took them over to the West Indies as indentured servants, which like, wow, the Bachelor actually teaching us a little bit of something. Obviously we know about it, but like a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah, even people within the Indian diaspora like don't even know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're 100% Indian with us, man.
Yes.
Anybody in like the Caribbean that's West Indian, yeah, you're one of us.
Absolutely.
Yes, appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about your job. What is it that you actually do? You're a neuroscientist,
that's a good question. Right? I guess not anymore, man. Like actually, these days I am a science diplomat. So
what is that?
What is that? How did I get there? What is So basically it's like so my job is to, whenever a foreign nation speaks to the US about the science they want to do, I gotta be the guy that they talk to about that.
Oh, that's very cool.
I have to sort of coalesce all of the interesting science that goes on around America and distill it into a way that makes sense for like non-scientists, politicians, and policymakers outside America. So it's cool. It's cool. So that's far from neuroscience, cool. I guess.
The thing is, when you said you don't do that anymore, I had a heart attack because I was like, "Oh no, he's an influencer now. He's like selling green tea. He left the science world to sell green tea." No,
never.
Where's the ruckable ad party?
Never.
Oh man,
it's never coming. It's never coming. You'll never catch me selling out like that. You'll never catch me selling out like that. Never ever.
We got it.
I know we got one.
Got you.
But listen, if you guys do need to sell green tea, Salaam Nerds will be happy to sponsor. So I'm just kidding.
Get out.
No. Oh man. But no, it was really cool because you were doing a lot of work with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Could you go into a little bit about what you were doing with that?
Yeah, I mean, so my scientific career started and stayed in the neurosciences for as long as I was in the lab. So basically, it started off, you know how like in Indian culture or whatever, we talk about past lives. I mean, it's kind of like a past life for me at this point, where like there's a period of time where like I was really deep into like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, genetic risk factors, and really deep into like the tech and the preclinical research. So like that started in during undergrad, where I was doing research on L-DOPA induced dyskinesia, which is basically like, if you ever seen like Michael J. Fox in any of his interviews, he's always like all Parkinson like. that's actually like not a symptom of Parkinson's that he's showing off. It's more like a symptom of the medication, which is called dyskinesias. And virtually all Parkinson patients eventually get dyskinesia from the treatment. And it has a lot to do with just how the disease changes over time, how your body adapts to medication, and then that's the result. So it's like has some serious like clinical use, clinical translation opportunities. And like that's like where I've always been in my scientific career, is like in those translational spaces where like I can see the impact of my stuff like within my own lifetime. I mean, there's scientists that go their entire career with their work never reaching people. So like I knew I wanted to be like face to face with those translational settings. So it's funny, like throughout my entire scientific career, I've slowly like edged closer and closer to seeing like the impact of my work on people around me, until now I'm at a point where it's like I'm there. Like I can't see the impact of my work on the field as a whole, like in a diplomatic setting.
That's really fascinating, Pardeep. What is in the research that you were a part of, like what was the finding that was most surprising to you?
I'll say this. This is probably the one of the first times I was learning RT-PCR. And so for those who don't know, it's like, you know, when you do a COVID test, for example,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
like it uses an RT-PCR, the RT-PCR technique to know. And so the way that works is that it so the COVID virus, for example, this is me being a scientist again. You know, is a RNA-based virus. So the sort of genetic material that COVID is made of is RNA. That when you put it through an enzyme called reverse transcriptase, gets converted back to DNA, and then the PCR part of the technique is when that DNA is amplified, or rather the DNA is amplified with the sort of corresponding base pairs for what recognizes the virus or whatever you're looking at. So for me, like I was doing that for microglia. So microglia are the brain's immune cells, and I was like doing this technique for like one of the first times. It's a really tough technique, but the data I got back, I was like kind of confused by it, because I'm like, yo, this is like pretty cool. This is like pretty good, but there's no way this is real, because like this is one of the first times I'm doing it. It's probably shitty data. So I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here, but yeah, okay, sweet. So then I repeated it, you know, over and over again, and the data kept coming back, and the data basically was like showing that there was like an imbalance of lysosomal enzymes. And so the lysosome, of course, is like the part of the cell that breaks down cell debris. And so for microglia, like that's really important, because microglia are the immune cells. And so like they're always shoveling stuff to the lysosome. And so if there's an imbalance there, that means there's probably an imbalance with like the actual cell. And at the time, I don't know what the research is now, but at the time, microglia were like an interesting thing to look at, because sort of like when you have allergies, you sneeze, you cough, your body has like a overactive immune response. It's like that situation with microglia, where under brain damage, they're hyperinflamed. And so I was able to link that to the lysosome imbalance. So that was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
That was fun, yeah.
I bet there's nobody else on The Bachelor who's done that. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, 100%. You might be the smartest person in the like entire show.
Everyone's like a fitness trainer.
And this guy here is like doing God's work, trying to cure things and help people with allergies on a molecular level. Like that's just fascinating.
Listen, I love that they finally brought on a nerd on The Bachelor, because that's one of us, man. And like
one of us.
Not only are you like a science nerd, but I hear you're like a Comic-Con nerd too. I heard you go to Comic-Con and stuff. Is that true?
Hell yeah, man. I'm all about it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm all about it.
One of us.
I'm all about it. All about it, man.
Do you go to New York Comic Con? Because I go there every year. Every year,
I go to whatever one is nearby. New York, San Diego. Just let me know. I'll be there. Like right now, I'm in LA. I'm gonna go to San Diego Comic Con. If I'm back in New
Oh,
York, I'll go to New York Comic Con. One love, man. Like I'll go to
let's do
all
it.
of them.
Listen, I know where we're hanging out. We're hanging out at Comic Con. We're bringing the Bachelors to Comic Con.
Mm-hmm. October 2023, we're gonna be in New York. We'll try to get a panel at New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
and then we'll bring Pardeep as our guest. It'll be great.
We actually got pretty good with our Comic Con stuff. We actually did a commercial for Miss Marvel. We had like the actors from Miss Marvel on our show. So we kind of like we do a lot of Comic Con stuff, which is cool. But the irony is there's the Venn diagram between Bachelor fans and comic fans are like two complete separate circles. So like our two fan bases don't ever laugh. It's so funny.
Except for like 4 people now. You, me, Pardeep, and my brother-in-law.
Yeah. Like the people who tune in for our Bachelor recap do not listen to our like Marvel recap, and vice versa. So it's so funny. It's
Well,
like,
they should.
They should,
should.
right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's
There's a lot
like
of common-
middle-aged
common
white
through
ladies
lines.
and then nerds. It was no, that's really, really cool. So let's talk a little bit about your time on The Bachelor. And like honestly, I think you picked the best season to be on the show because Michelle was amazing. Like, tell us your thoughts about Michelle.
You know, Michelle is she's just a good person. I mean, I will say that, you know, Michelle has always been just really, you know, respectful, tactful, and you know, patient with me and everyone else. You know, I can't speak on her relationship with others, but
Sure.
you know, Michelle has always been the type, from my experience, to, you know, give credit to individuals who, you know, stand up and stand out, and you know, she's just a very classy and thoughtful lady, straight up. I mean, so sometimes the most complicated things are described in the simplest ways, and that's how I would describe her. You know, no shade in any direction.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm glad to hear that because like I feel like if it was anyone else, they wouldn't handle the diversity of men on that show as well as she had. I think she did a great job with that. As we see this season with Zach, there's not a lot of diversity left. he has been getting rid of all the ethnic girls one by one, sadly. So Michelle's season was a season where we saw a lot of that, and I thought that was really, really good. And a lot of the people who we normally don't see on the show, whether being Desi or Asian.
Yeah, well, I would say this. You know, I think that there is a collective knowledge for people of a certain kind as to how to succeed on reality TV. And so, like, you know, when I was cast, like, there's really only one, you know, brown dude I can call, and he was in night one elimination. About like,
Yeah,
am I going to be screwed or not? Now
Right.
that conversation would have been different if, you know, this was a brown person who made it to the final rose or made it to the top
Right.
4 or something of that nature. So, you know, I think that there's a lot more individuals, you know, of, you know, maybe Caucasian descent, Asian descent, or whatever, who are able to, you know, have lived experiences on how to, like, fall in love on that show. So I would say that, you know, corrective measures for that is probably like really complicated, multilateral, but, you know, it just goes back to what I was saying. You know, there's work to be done all around. And you know, I think that over time, you know, as it's been doing, the show is continuing to diversify, and over time, this will, you know, lead to like a more sort of collective knowledge on, is the show, you know, what would my parents think? What would my career think? What would my cousins think, or whatever? These questions, I believe, will start to give way to people who are more confident, more brazen, more like ballsy to get on there and like make a splash. You know, I'm
Very
confident, you know, that somewhere in the past, you know, maybe there was another, you know, brown person trying to get cast for the show, but decided not to go because their auntie and uncle would judge them. Like, who gives a shit? So
Right.
I would say that those feelings of like judgment, you know, from within the Indian diaspora, are going to give way are gonna go to the wayside as more and more brown people get cast. So I think in that regard, it could be more of a positive feedback for diversifying. But that I think lies squarely with the brown community.
I think we're definitely seeing that. I think we're seeing that in shows like Indian Matchmaking. We're seeing that in shows like Love is Blind. I feel like people are getting a little used to the idea of seeing people of Indian descent on reality shows. Family Karma is another one of them. I think slowly people are getting to that stage, and that's really, really good. I do want to talk about one thing. You said it's on
Neeps,
all...
one thing real quick.
Sure.
Pardeep, your microphone, it's rubbing against your shirt and we can hear it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can.
All good.
Okay.
Just hold it when you're talking. You should be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mic is on this side.
I wanted to say, like,
other side. Yeah, that side.
You mentioned, there's work to be done on all sides, and I feel like that's so true, because there are contestants who constantly get caught up in some kind of controversy. I think they've had several people caught up in the blackface controversy, and I tweeted a little bit while ago, there's more people involved in like controversies that involve racism than there are actual South Asian people on the show, and the show's been on for so many years. And it's one of those things, like, everyone has to do better. You're absolutely right. It's not just the producer, it's the contestant, even the viewers. I think some of the viewers, you see some of the comments people leave, they're horrible. So on all sides, I feel like people need to do better.
Yeah, all sides, I think. And, it is TV at the end of the day. So
it is entertainment.
It has to be entertaining. But, what form that takes, I don't know. But it still has to stir the pot in some way, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I mean, listen, your season, they got some really cool stuff. They got you playing basketball. You seem pretty good at basketball. That was surprising.
I see this.
I mean, there's I think I was better, behind I mentioned this publicly before, so I'll just say it now because it wasn't on TV. I got the first shot of that basketball game.
Nice.
So basically everybody on that team, listen, man, they're all former ballers, former footballers,
yes.
D1 basketball players. I came through with the first basket and set the stage, so it was good. So I think now I'm in a lot better shape than I was then. So let's see so I'm down to try it again at some point if anybody wants to test me on that.
Man, I love it.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's get a basketball team going with all South Asian men from the show. That's all two of you. It'll have to be 2-on-2. It'll have to be 2-on-2.
Or it would have to be 2-on-2. Yes.
Yeah, NBA Jam style. Oh man, no, that's really, really cool. So tell us some of your favorite moments from Michelle's season. What would you think were your favorite parts?
Probably my favorite parts. I gotta appreciate my guy Rodney, man. He's such a nice guy.
Man. We love Rodney.
He's the real deal. I'm so proud of him. Actually, I also mentioned this on other podcasts, but me and him shared the same limo night one. So
yeah,
we met each other before we met Michelle, and so that's a friendship that I hope will just last forever, because he's just one hell of a guy. And so everything he did is probably my favorite thing of the season.
So you would have been one of those guys crying when he got eliminated in Bachelor in Paradise because you're that close to him?
Yo. That one stirred me up big time. Because I would have came out swinging for that guy.
I'm with you, man. I don't watch the shows, but all I remember is Rodney was a good dude, and I'm going to defend him to death. So I do remember saying that.
I remember everybody came out crying when he got eliminated.
Oh, man, that one broke collectively everyone's hearts. But damn, man, if I was there, I would have I don't know what I would have done. But I wouldn't have let it. I would have tried to make sure it didn't end up that way, I think.
Oh, man. Appreciate that. We appreciate that. That's cool. Are you still watching The Bachelor, or do you take a break from it and just watch it here and there?
You know, it depends. You know, it entirely depends on my schedule, to be honest.
Yeah.
But usually it's probably like 50-50 at this point, just because like you know, you kind of know how it ends, you know,
Yeah.
in
Oh.
being around. So it kind of just you know, it kind of just it ruins the incentivization of watching.
Fair.
But you know,
You know
like
how the sausage is made, right?
yeah, I would say that things are more exciting off the show than on the show at times. You know,
Oh,
when the
interesting.
cameras aren't around, I think like that's the juicy stuff that I like to keep up with.
Are we
Well,
going to catch you on Stagecoach? Is that what you're telling us?
I wouldn't mind.
Let's go. Let's go.
I wouldn't mind. I'm all about it.
As someone with no context on the show, what does that mean?
So Jazz, okay, so Jazz doesn't know what's going on. So Jazz, there was a season where they went to this thing called Stagecoach. It's like a music festival,
Okay.
and a lot of people from Bachelor hooked up at that event, and then they came to Bachelor in Paradise, and all the details and dirt from that event was like leaked on the show, and it kind of spilled out.
Oh
It was wild.
no.
It was wild. There were text messages leaked. There was like sexual partners exposed. It was wild.
See,
You know,
that
the
sounds
show-
like the
the
reality
show,
TV I want to
yeah.
see.
You know, the show doesn't really end when the cameras are off. You know, let's
No, it doesn't. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. Well, listen, Pradeep, let's just say you were the Bachelor. How would you feel if someone came up to you and decided to lick you? I'm just saying. How
man.
would you feel about that?
All right, let me think about that one. Because I don't want to throw shade at my fellow brownie, but I'll say if I was a bastard, somebody came and licked me, I'd probably like go like this and
Yeah.
like visibly wipe it off. I would go out of my way and like wipe it off or like ask for a handkerchief or something. And I'd probably ask how that taste.
Yo, I'm sure
Sweet or salty.
I'm sure you.
That's
like
what we
brown sugar,
needed.
man. Brown sugar, right there. That's what it is.
Bad.
That was my username back in high school. Brown sugar.
No.
Wow. Going back to the AIM screen name days.
I know.
Okay.
So we had a little bit of a conversation with Leka, and rumor has it wasn't her idea to do that. She was kind of, I would say, produced to kind of do that. Her original idea was to take hearts, like the flower garlands, put one on him and have him put one on her. That was her original idea, and they made her change it to licking him. So I wouldn't necessarily 100% blame it on her. But yeah, I don't know. She went with it. It was a bold move.
Here, let me share a picture of that real quick, just so like people have some context of what that is. Present, share screen. Are there these things right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So she wanted him to put those on her and her to put that on
Yeah.
him. That was her
Mhm.
original idea.
Oh, that's serious.
Yeah, that's serious,
That's
right?
Like,
cute.
yo, might as well walk around the fire while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. They're practically
Yo.
married. That's like
Damn.
exchanging wedding rings.
That's like okay. I thought the
I mean,
bachelor
I
was
like the
quick,
idea.
but that's like that's real quick.
That's a great scam. She probably got him to get married without even him knowing. Like, everybody go home. You don't know, but we're
done here.
married. We're done.
Yo, that would have been
That would have been funny.
that would have been
man.
funny. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. What was your limo entrance when you went
Oh,
on the
man.
show?
Mine, you know, it was just like a neuroscience pun. It was just
okay.
like it was like something about like love and dopamine and you know my
Oh, that's right.
something about
That's
some
right.
about brain chemistry and like physical chemistry. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I
all
think
right.
it was some kind of play on that.
I can't wait to pick your brain later.
Well, yeah, why not?
I remember.
It was something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember you had a really great outfit though. You had a dope outfit on. Tell us a little bit about that. Was it like a Shervani or something to look like a Shervani? Like what was it?
Oh yeah, elimination night. No, I wore Why is the name escaping me? Yes, Shirvani. So I wore that, and I wanted to. Here's the thing, man. Rose ceremonies, like you gotta mac out. Like you gotta look your best.
Yeah.
You cannot go to a rose ceremony looking nasty. You can't go to a rose ceremony looking dusty and like oily. Like you gotta look absolutely fresh. And so rose ceremony outfits are like they're in a league of their own when you are like on rose ceremony night. So I had to make sure like I stepped up to another level. And thing about like rose ceremony outfits is like people know if you wear it again. So it's like a one and done type deal unless you're wearing like someone else's clothes, which happens sometimes.
Which happens, yeah, I heard that.
Which happens, yeah. I mean, some people just have similar fits, but nah, man. Like I wore a Indian inspired outfit because I wanted to represent, bro. Like that's the move. I wanted to represent, and like also like it looks fly as hell. I think actually that's number one. Number one reason is that it looks fly as hell. Number two, like, is like I wanted to represent. So I'm it was an outfit that like I took the time to like really source and get it fitted and bring it out. I mean, first and only time like someone of Indian descent like wanted to wear Indian inspired clothing. So I think there's a lot to be said about like not only diversifying like skin color, right, but also diversifying your lived experiences and your clothing, the way you speak, the way you love as well. So I think that that I hope contributed to like some step forward in that regard.
Very cool, man. We love that. We love that.
Oh, I love that too. I've worn a Shirvani on this show every like now and then.
Yeah, Jazz yeah, definitely has, and we've definitely done that. We love to share our culture with people. When we were doing the Miss Marvel stuff, man, we definitely brought a whole community of nerds into our culture, and it was amazing to share that with them. So it's really, really cool. And I'm glad you got to do it with Bachelor Nation. There's a lot of people in Bachelor Nation that were really excited for you to be on there. Have anyone slid into your DMs? I'm sure, other than me, of course. Other than me.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
I mean, you got a neurosurgeon brown or neuroscientist brown guy. Like, who wouldn't?
Dude, you're a catch, man. You're like beyond Bachelor. You're like brown, like you're like the brown, like a Henry Cavill. You're like our Superman.
If one day I can get that muscular, but one day I can. No, I mean, of course, man. Like, it's of course I've been in and out of people's DMs and vice versa, man. Like, but you'll never know. But yes, of course.
Never know. That's
so, ladies.
Mom's the word. We can keep a secret.
Yeah, it's not like the show's live.
Nah, I mean, absolutely. And that's part of the juiciest, funnest parts, actually. Yeah, it's the stuff that happens off camera.
Listen, I'm just saying, I might know somebody who is Daisy and also been on the show. If I sent her your way, would you not like shoo her away? Or
I mean, there's only been like what, 3, 4?
Yeah, it's only been 3.
I can probably name them all, and only been 3. So, I mean, have I been to all their DMs? I don't know, maybe. But
I can send them to your DMs.
Oh, spicy.
I mean, listen, they know me. My life is public. They can slide in. It's all good.
Perfect. You heard it here first, guys. He is accepting. DMs are open. Love that. But you know what?
Maheen says this is the brown girl representation we need, not Shake from Love Is Blind.
You know what? Listen. I do want to talk about that a little bit because listen, I want to see a brown love story so bad. I want to see a brown love story because listen, if you go to any Mindy Kaling show, it's a brown girl with a white man. You go Aziz Ansari, Camille Nanjiani, brown man with white woman. I just want to see a little brown on brown love that's not toxic, and we haven't had that since like what, ever? So I would love to see that once in my life on television, a nice brown love story. Not like someone who's already together, not somebody's parents, but a nice brown love story. I would love to see it. Make it happen.
Pardeep, no pressure, man.
No pressure, but it's all
Well, can I add something to that?
Sure.
In addition to seeing a beautiful brown love story, one that's not like curated as well as in a show
Yeah.
like Indian matchmaking.
Oh,
right.
yeah, very true,
like,
very true.
let it be as natural as possible, man. Don't get a
Yes.
Seema auntie up in here to like do it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't need Seema auntie telling us we're too dark to get a match. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. So, you know, do I think it's possible on American TV? Yeah, but you know, there's something to be said about this. Like, you know, American Hollywood is like not a diverse place.
No.
Even less than that is like the higher you go in like American TV, the less and less people of color there are. So, you know, there's even the chance that like if you make it into a place, you know, like reality TV or Hollywood or whatever, you may never even run into a brown person. So there's just the fact that there's just not a lot. That also contributes to that.
That's probably because they're all like us, who are engineers and scientists and lawyers. So there's not enough of us out there. Right?
Yeah,
April's
everyone-
everywhere.
Everyone listening to the show, what this means is you have to go on reality TV, go sign up for all the shows, see what happens.
Except for MILF Manor. Please no Daisy go on
Oh
MILF
my
Manor.
god!
No, he has to now because you're going to run a Patreon on us.
So, Pradeep, what are you watching these days? Other than Bachelor and stuff,
Man.
what are you watching these days? It could be anything.
Oh,
It could
man.
be a reality show or just like geek shows, like nerd shows.
Yeah. I'm watching. This is anime I started picking up called. So first of all, yeah, The Last of Us, 1000%.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
And you know, listen, I'm being a total dweeb about it. Like I'm comparing it, like, oh, this is not like the game. The Clippers don't sound like that. Like I'm being a total troll about it, but I'm enjoying it though.
Yeah.
So absolutely,
By
The
the
Last
way-
of Us.
By the way, we have a recap show for The Last of Us. We do every Sunday after the show airs. If you want to be on that show too, you're welcome, brother.
You know, we could probably make it happen. And then another show I'm watching on Netflix is called like I think it's called like The Last Ragnarok or Ragnarok something. It's like an anime.
Oh yeah, It's
You know
like
what I'm saying?
the Coliseum and
yes,
competing.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
cool. So
Ja-
it's basically
Jazz is a
like,
huge anime fan.
yeah. Anime is
too.
awesome. And so it's about like how like the gods are deciding should we wipe out humanity or not. Let's put it to a vote. And what put me on, actually, the trailer was like on the main Netflix banner, and they had like a anime rendition of Shiva. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what is this? And what kind of like you know, modern Netflix show has like an anime version of like a Hindu idol? So I started watching
Yeah.
the trailer. I'm like, yo, this looks lit. So actually, it's pretty good. So it's like the gods versus men, and then the men have to like, and by man,
They
I mean,
team
like,
up with the what are they called? The half gods, half humans.
yeah, the
Valkyries or whatever? Yeah, that's what they're called.
And
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like they have to. It's like every like the strongest historical human figure throughout human history, like versus the gods. So they would have like I don't know, like they would have like some warlords from you know. Ancient China or ancient Japan, and they would have like Jack the Ripper, and they would have like Tesla, and they would have like even Adam, the first man, like versus Zeus. Like it's pretty cool.
Wow, that
so
does
like,
sound cool.
so I'm
Yeah.
checking that out right now. If my only complaint is that it's not enough fighting, it's too much talking. I want to see some more fighting.
Yeah, this
So,
is Record of Ragnarok. It's a great show.
Great show.
Are you looking forward to the ending of Attack on Titan if you watch that?
You know, I tried getting into Attack on Titan. It was just another one of them shows where it was too much talking, not enough action. So,
Okay, in the first season, that's completely fair.
Yes.
I
yeah,
will see
yeah. I fell off. I fell off for that reason, actually. So I haven't been keeping up.
That
I
show
am
is
back
a lot
on
of
Dragon Ball.
build up.
Though. Like I am.
Oh,
keeping up
nice.
with the Dragon Ball movies as they've been dropping.
So you've caught up to like the Universe Saga and the Ultra Instinct
Dude,
and all that.
I'm all the way into the manga, man. I'm all the way
oh
into the
snap!
Moro
Okay, all
Moro
right.
arc.
Lovely.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm in there.
You're an absolute nerd. I love it.
So I'm not a big
All about
anime
it.
fan, but I was told that if you watch the first 44 episodes of One Piece, you can be ready for the show that's coming out. That's live show of that.
Yes.
You know it's gonna suck though.
Really?
Yes.
The live action
man.
animes,
Look.
man. I don't
I'm
know.
That
with
is
you,
true.
man.
That is
The
true.
anime, like the first 40 episodes, you get through Arlong Park, and that's when I got hooked. So if they're not going to do it justice, I'm going to be very angry about it. Like,
Oh,
that's
no.
one of the most iconic scenes for me. And so, yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm always disappointed when, you know, there's live action renditions of like comic books or games and they end up sucking.
Yeah.
And they suck. Like, like Justice League or Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Like, I waited my entire life to see that and it sucked. So like,
it did. Like, the
I'm like,
DCAU was so much better than the DCCU.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. It just
The
sucked.
DC animated universe was way better
Yes.
than cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
But then,
Speaking of
we,
anime, I was gonna say this is not a traditional anime, but Avatar: The Last Airbender is also getting a live action rendition, and the
well, it better
casting
be
actually
good.
looks good.
So
The casting,
that one
okay.
I have faith
Yeah.
for, because the original show's creators, Dante Bosco and Mike, I cannot pronounce his last name, they're going to be doing the whole thing. So very excited about that.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. So we
And
got
then in the
some-
comments, we have Michaela, who says, "Hi, Pradeep. We love that you're representing people of color on The Bachelorette."
Nice.
Well, you know,
That's
on that comment, you know, like it's like you got to get out there, man. Like
Yeah.
there are all kinds of opportunities for people of color, brown people to be, you know, represented. So I would say like, you know, you know, growing up, it's like a big inhibiting factor is like, oh my God, like, you know, my mom isn't from here, my dad isn't from here. Like we're growing up in this immigrant community where like English is a second language.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just don't have the time, resources, expertise, social capital to know like how much putting yourself out there really pays off.
Mhm.
So I would say like you got to just get out there, man. Get out there and like be silly. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay.
Let's do it. Everyone go out there, be silly. And the thing is, like, I think it matters more because you're a genuine person. When there's someone who's kind of like a little bit of a narcissist and stuff like that, they're making us look bad. So we need all the good guys to go out there to cancel them out. And I'm not pointing any finger like shit. But listen, we got to have some good guys out there like you. You're a genuine guy. You're nice. You're nerd like us, and we love to see that.
I appreciate that.
We have another comment. Rachel's asking, "What are your thoughts on what the Bachelor franchise needs to do to increase viewership?"
That's true. This is the lowest season.
Bro,
This is
I don't
really
get paid
bad.
enough to answer that one. There's people being paid to answer that question. So
That's right.
I don't know, man. I'll say this, like, you know, viewership is like, you know, when your target audience is like 18 to 35, which is like the hardest audience to get,
Yeah.
people gotta grow up into it first. And so I think like, I don't think it's gonna be. So first of all, like, I don't really know the numbers necessarily, but like, if you want to increase viewership, it's not gonna happen overnight. And it's gonna take like some investment into like other platforms and other new innovative like cross-sectional ways to like tell your story. So beyond that, like, people being paid to answer that, so I'm gonna let them do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was such a good answer because that can apply to everything.
That is true.
Like, I'm thinking of ways we're going to have to start doing that for this podcast. Like, that was such a good answer.
Yeah, I'm very curious what's gonna happen. The viewership's down. People said that it might get off of ABC and might get picked up by Hulu or something. So who knows what's gonna happen? We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I know is diverse stories are working on other platforms. Like Love is Blind. Like, you know, there's body diversity. There's so many different types of people on that show, and people love it. It does great, and
Yep.
it does really good for the people who are on it because they get a lot of followers. This year for The Bachelor, the girls that have been on Zach's season, there's a what you call it, a Instagram called Bachelor Bio Data or something like that. And they
Bachelor
track-
Data. Yeah. big
Bachelor
fan.
Data, yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
we love them. And they track how fast their Instagram grows. It's been slowing down. So it's not even worth it for a lot of people to go on there these days because they're not growing as fast as they thought they would. Love is Blind, Deeply got like 1 million followers and like it's crazy. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of ways to look at it. But I think first and foremost, like if you're going on this show to become an influencer, like you're gonna get exposed right quick because
So
like
quick.
Yeah.
So
you know,
quick.
Bachelor fans are like really smart, and let
They
me tell
really
you, man,
are.
like like there's people that go on these shows and just lie about everything, lie about their job, lie about their relationships, lie
Yes.
about every single thing, or like promote their
Pizza
business.
restaurant.
Oh God.
Yes. Pizza restaurants, fitness, whatever. And it's like, oh, bro, it's so obvious, man. So I would say this, like, it pays to be a clean person. Like, it pays to like
Yeah.
not have a skeleton in your closet when you're out there looking for love on like a national audience. So I would say that the fans kind of, it's like the fans, they have their own ways of like predicting who's gonna like do well and who's not.
Yeah.
But they're really good at like knowing who's the douchebag and who's not a douchebag, and who's a dick and who's not a dick, and who's nice and who's not nice. And they figure that out right quick. And that's cool.
All right. Last question before we go. If they offer you a chance to be on Paradise, would you go?
Maybe they already did, and
Oh.
who knows? Maybe they already did. I don't know.
I am.
Should I?
hyped.
Let me reflect it back to you. Should I go, and why?
Listen, why can't brown people go out there and get a tan? We deserve to be out there too and a little vacation. I want to see you without a shirt on. Let's go.
Maybe that day is coming sooner than you think.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh.
You heard it here
Depends who's there.
first.
No, it depends who's there. Like I don't want to get there and everyone's already wiped up. It depends who's there.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Look, man, I don't watch a show and I haven't been excited. But if you're gonna be on Paradise, man, I am hyped now, and I will.
That might actually watch a season.
I will never watch a season, but I may watch certain episodes now.
Yeah, listen, I would go bananas for that. I think that'd be really, really cool. But all right, let's see, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on our show. We had so much fun. We would love to have you back, whether you want to come on this show and talk about Bachelor, or whether you want to come on another show and talk about nerd culture and Comic-Con and all the other shows that we're watching. You're always welcome, and we would love to see you back, man.
Thank you, and keep doing what you do, guys, because we need interesting, influential, diverse voices in a place like this. So, to have diverse perspectives and to advocate and also defend, instances of like, miscommunication between people that never talk to each other. So, so mediums like this do a good job to sort of be the connective tissue between somebody who, I don't know, grew up in some small ass town and never saw a brown person in their life versus someone who grew up in an inner city and sees them all the time. So I think that the work that's being done to sort of level the playing field, is with you guys. So really appreciate all that you do.
No, thank you so much, man. We really believe in that. We believe that if there's something happening, the people talking about it should be the people being affected by it. That's why when something happens on this show, we make sure that we bring on a guest who is of that descent or of that color to talk about it. When Natasha was happening, all that stuff to her, we brought on Black people to talk about that and let us know how colorism affects their communities and stuff. So we love doing that. That's what we're all about. We can't let all the white people take all of the narratives when all this stuff happens, right? No offense, April.
No, I'm joking. I'm happy to help.
Yes. But listen, thank you so much. We welcome you on the show anytime. And until next time, guys, Salaam, nerds.
Peace.
Bye, Pardeep.
Deuces. Good to meet you.
Meet you too.